Hello there and welcome back. Today we have Toyota's HiLux and Fortuner updates, $100 for barrel of oil, Chinese automakers entering global top 10, Aston Martin having small crisis, well as usually they do, and of course we have news about Tesla, because how would we live without news about Tesla? So let's start. So, we need to discuss this urgently. At first, I want to start with a piece of news I missed earlier, but right now I'm looking at that news from a different angle. The new Toyota HiLux, a battery-powered workhorse. Because now I look at Toyota and I'm thinking, it's actually a great machine. But to be fair, Toyota showed HiLux a while ago, and it's a bit weird even though it looks good. We still have a proper normal engines, but for some reason Toyota thought we should make an electric version, fully electric version of Toyota HiLux. Like a Toyota pickup NEV with a 240 km range. And my question exactly is, where did they see jungle or desert where you can go there and back in 240 kilometers? What for and why? Sure, maybe they are betting on commercial use. Maybe the idea is moving stuff around warehouse from point A to point B, but you and I both know, and I know for sure, how Toyota pickups are actually used. And when you're trying to get out somewhere in a pickup with a mobile machine gun, the last thing you want is your pickup to run out of battery. Anyway, related news. Toyota has upgraded body-on-frame SUV Fortuner and is preparing for its debut. The platform is more or less the same, and the Fortuner is one of those vehicles used mainly in Asia and Middle East as a very reliable and roomy machine that can go whatever that car wants. But again, now it is clear its main advantage compared to Toyota HiLux is missing. It's hard to mount a machine gun in it because a rear is enclosed, and on the other hand, you can sit inside Fortuner and use your light weapons and fire back. Yeah, that's also an option, but not that ideally as HiLux with a machine gun in the back. Oil prices are rising amid the escalation, the Iranian conflict. I don't know what exact is happening right now, where you're watching this video, at what exactly moment you're watching this video, whether I managed to publish this video in time, but right now the price of 1 barrel of oil is near $100, and that's quite high prices, I would say. And the whole internet is flooded with articles like, oh, because the Iranian conflict, the prices for oil is extremely high. And at some point I would agree, and I should add that around oil there is a total hysteria. The strait is blocked, or maybe it's not. Tankers are sailing, or maybe they aren't. One of them is on fire and oil is spilling, or maybe it's not. It was empty, or maybe it was full. Nobody knows exactly true information what is happening right there. But one thing is definitely clear. 20% of oil goes straight through this strait in Iran. So naturally the prices will go up, and that's totally acceptable. And from automated point of view, maybe at some point with oil price rising, we will start seeing articles again. Oh right, oil is getting more expensive, it will run out, we urgently need turbines, we urgently need a new alternative energy source, because apparently we just alternative-minded people. Apparently think we must abandon absolutely fossil fuels entirely. All of them. We will pull out the solar panels again, blow the dust off and say, look, We can reflect light, energy, everything will be great. Please give us billions dollars. Also, obviously, this whole EV agenda is losing its steam over time, because compare how it was important in 2021 and 2022, now a lot of people do not care, and not because what is happening right now in the world, but for, I would say, 5 last years, it was obvious for everyone that you cannot power everything just on alternative source of energy. It's just impossible. And coal, gas and other fossil fuels are still in use. But some kind of media hysteria, this is definitely what we should expect near time. 3 Chinese automakers made it to top 10 global manufacturer by the end of 2025. Not all 3 at once. Before, in 2024, there were already 2. It was Geely and BYD. But now, in 2025, the SAIC has joined them. This whole story that Chinese cars will come and crush everyone and only Chinese cars will remain, it's just a farce and a nonsense. At the same time, the Chinese cars are getting a gradually bigger share, and that's how it will continue. They will take their portion, occupy their niche, nibble a bit from everyone, and basically force some of the guys to make some room. But the idea that big companies like Stellantis, Toyota, Volkswagen will just vanish and hand entire market to China, this definitely not going to happen. Because you can just look at the table and you will see it. Toyota has produced 11.3 million cars, while Chinese leader BYD has built only 4.6 million cars. And yes, BYD grew compared to 2024, because in 2024 they built 4,270,000 cars, and now it's 4.6 million cars. But BYD is an EV manufacturer, and we will see what it will produce in 2026 first of all. And second, the gap to Hyundai, Toyota, Volkswagen is still pretty massive for each individual Chinese automaker. And yes, the Chinese really grew this year compared to 2024. SAIC up 12%, Geely up 26%, that's actually a huge number for an automaker. BYD just up 7%. But you have to understand that there is a big risk to hanging over them. Production could drop hard if subsidies, tariffs and all of that support will disappear. At very least, it would be very interesting to watch how Chinese authorities will regulate this war pricing situation, the bans with minimum prices. It will be just interesting to watch. This is a story that has been a meme since EV appeared. A battery in a trailer. And now Tesla is patenting a new technology for a Cybertruck. They are basically like, look, here's a drawing. A Cybertruck is driving, and behind it there is a trailer. And inside that trailer there is a battery, and we will run a cable inside the Cybertruck and it will tow it and drive. Amazing! Now all there is left is to put a diesel generator on the trailer too, or gasoline one. Doesn't matter, we can put 2. We can do both diesel and gasoline. So it runs on this and that. And so the whole thing is work, charges alone, charges itself and drive. I think great. This is what progress look like. Because honestly, this is just a reincarnation of that meme. where Tesla is driven with a diesel generator bolted to it, smoking away and generating electricity. It's absurd, and yet they're showing this idea and look, like, here it is. A crisis at Aston Martin. The British automaker will cut 20% of its own staff. Let's try to remember when was the last time Aston Martin wasn't in the crisis. When was the last time we generally saw a positive headline about Aston Martin? I was sitting there before this episode and I was thinking, and I couldn't remember. The last notable Aston Martin success was probably Top Gear or James Bond, somewhere there. And now the headlines now everywhere and saying basically one thing, that that year was pretty awful. We sold only 5,500 cars, our debt is growing, our income doesn't cover our expenses, we are sliding into a financial hole. Let's fire someone. Obviously, when you have a negative cash flow and a negative balance and all that, you have to cut costs and you have to throw out someone out your company. Because if company stops making money, it's not viable. Regardless of the brand, regardless of the history, if you can't pay your bills, you are not viable. For now, Aston Martin is staying alive because its owners have money. Its main owner is a Saudi Arabia fund, plus Lucid, plus Lawrence Stroll. These are people who are doing financially fine. Well, expect maybe Lucid. But in any case, the company needs to be brought in some order so that at least stop generating additional debt. Because right now things are difficult in the world basically for everyone, and the only thing to hope is that they will cut staff on EV production. Because if they start cutting departments working on internal combustion engines or similar technologies, I have no idea how they plan to climb out of the debt. Because again, not a single expensive EV, including Aston Martin, can build, has really achieved any success in the market. In Monaco, driving schools teach people to drive in Porsche 911 Carrera right from the start. Well, why not? If there is a demand for training in cars like that, there will be a naturally supply. Plus, there is that idea that in Monaco, people after getting their license, they're jumping straight to something like pretty powerful Lamborghini Huracan or something other powerful cars. You learn in Volkswagen T-Roc, for example. Then you get into a Huracan and wrap it around the pole. And it becomes pretty obvious. Apparently, I didn't really learn much. Whereas if I would train in a powerful car, maybe everything would be fine. And of course, if you're just learning how to drive, learning how a city works, how to follow signs, traffic lights, basic road behavior, doing that in a powerful car won't help you. Not at all. Because what even is learning in high-performance car or handling 600 horsepower car in a city center with city traffic, that's completely different thing. Learning how to handle a supercar belongs to training grounds, tracks and closed environments, not on public roads. And learning for a license is simply a different process. And really, just driving through the city with eyes of terrified squirrel, trying not to run over someone's grandma and stop at a red light, that does absolutely nothing to teach you how to actually control the car or understand how it works in principle. So, naturally, if there is a clients are willing to pay for such training, I mean just licensed training, just putting around the city or just around roundabout at 20 kilometers per hour while sitting in Porsche 911. I'm sure people will pay for it, especially in Monaco. And naturally the supply will appear, because driving schools doesn't care. They will buy any car if there would be a demand. And it seems like it's all news for this episode. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, I'm Storm, drive safe, and I will see you in the next video.